All right, man. What's going on? Everything's good with you, bro?
Yeah, everything's good, man. Can't complain.
Had to find me a
Being
place, man.
productive as much as possible.
All right. All right, hold on. I'm going to do a little introduction over here.
Okay.
What's going on, YouTube? This is your boy, Gene, your best friend, your new best friend. And today, this is a special video we're going to do over here. And before I introduce my guest, this video is very recommended by the ladies. Women want to know before I tell you, state what this video is about. Louis, introduce yourself, my boy.
How you doing, YouTube world? My name is Lewis, aka the nigga you don't want to come across.
No, they do, bro. Because we're gonna have to put them up. We gotta let them know, man. But don't say that yet.
No, but I mean that in a good sense because the thing is that I'll hit you up with the truth. You know what I mean? Like,
cool. Okay,
I'm always about truth. So.
All right. So tell me where you from, and after that, I'll just tell my guests. I'm sorry, the audience, what this video is about.
Yeah. So I'm Lewis. I'm out here living in Vegas. And so we out here just being productive, trying to get things into perspective, and making progress. Trying to make progress each day, actually, and learning new truths, going into deep, dark underworld places where nobody else will go, because that in order to seek the truth, you got to go to deep, dark, hidden places in order to be equipped with uncommon knowledge, and so this is what we do, and every day just trying to be as knowledgeable as possible. Life is a learning experience for me. So.
All right, great introduction. Now, bro, this video is highly recommended for the women. In the video, we're going to be talking about why men don't want to commit in a relationship. But before we go forward, this is really recommended by female friends, women that I've came across on the train today, in the city. Why men don't want to commit. I have a lot of female friends that I go to the gym with. I'm in the gym. I have real good friends. They come across guys, and they kick it. They have a good time. They vibing right. And then all of a sudden, when baby want something more, homeboy is just so comfortable. I mean, my fellas is really, I don't want to say my fellas, right? The men they're comfortable and they don't want anything more, And do you want to go first or I want to go first?
Well, I mean, you can go first. You can elaborate on perhaps what your point of view is regarding the subject at hand.
Well, me, let me ask you this question. Have you ever been in this position before where you did not just want to commit to a specific woman? I know I have.
Yeah, okay. I have.
For me personally, I know when I was dealing with a particular female, she wanted to commit. And I told you about her before. I told you about, you know what I'm talking about. And she wanted to commit. And before she had somebody while she was kicking it with me. Now, was I in the position to do that? Well, me as a man at the time, being much more younger, I took what I can get at the time, just having fun, just thinking about my needs and everything. And when the time came when things didn't work out with the person she was with, and she wanted to deal with me, I didn't want to commit because I was so comfortable with she was able to give me. And I seen how she was moving with homeboy, and I'm thinking like, okay, she probably would do that to me. You know what I mean? Was I I mean, my question is to me myself: was I messed up for doing that? No,
No,
yes, but
no.
mhm,
um, I would say this: everybody have their own needs
mhm,
and their wants at the time at which they want it and at the time that they need it.
mhm,
So it's pretty much whatever position in life you're in currently, meaning whatever mental state of mind that you're in, or whatever age or whatever time you're living,
mhm,
you're gonna have your needs met. Well, you're gonna have to fulfill your needs by some way, somehow, whatever it is. Now, if that means that you're not, perhaps you met some people who are great, but perhaps you have a certain ideal of person, that of personality or what have you, or body type or whatever it is that you're looking
mhm,
for, then perhaps you tend to push away the person or whatever's in front of you in order to try to achieve the next thing. Now,
mhm.
with that given, the grass isn't always green on the other side, but innately we all have our own preferences in life, and we tend to strive towards that, and no one is at fault for that. It's just the way that perhaps we perceive the world or the way we perceive life, and ingrained in our own DNA, according to all the memories that we uphold, our past traumas, and you name it,
Mhm.
what have you, and all of these things contribute to the choices that we make and our instinct as well. So that has a lot of influence on that. Now,
Okay.
you're not wrong for doing what you did.
Mhm,
Uh, Perhaps I would say if you done it in the manner that you feel like you haven't screwed over somebody, then that's
mhm,
fine. Because the thing is that me, on my personal belief, I believe that I always leave the person that I was with better.
mhm,
And you know, I don't. That's just my own personal belief, and I don't try to screw them up or screw them over in order to get to the next
mhm.
person or to the next thing. If things gonna fall apart, it's gonna fall apart. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, right,
If it's a
right.
hookup, it's a hookup. We put that in those kind of categories. So
Mhm,
there's no hard feeling when I leave. I don't have a girl who's out there looking to cut my head because I
mhm,
left her, with a broken heart and this and
mhm.
that. I haven't done that, but so
I was gonna add to that too, right? I already knew that, I know how I feel, but it was just a question out there that I just threw out, right? But another thing too, before we go forward, right? The main question: why do men just don't want to commit? Why do men don't want to commit? I mean, me personally, what how everything is going on with social media, and we both talk about this all the time, where most men, guys, it could be young, older, it's just past trauma. You don't know what they've been through, what kind of relationships they went through in the past when they're younger, especially at the age
yeah,
of, hey, I know I got a good friend of mine, man. She asks me this question all the time, and we spoke to her before, but younger men, man, they just don't want to commit because they just, I find it this way, like, right, most guys that are, I'll say, between, we can't count 18, not even 21, but I'll say between 23 to almost between 30, they don't have the understanding of a woman that, and do us as men are supposed to understand women? Hmm. You know what I mean? That's just a question mark
yeah,
too. But I always say to the women, right? This is just my preference. Before you talk to a guy, get to know him first, and let him know what your intentions are, and whatever you put that, whatever you stay there, stick by it, right? But me and you, we talk about it all the time. We know that women, their emotions, they're emotional, which is okay. I understand. I mean, I understand that. But we come to a place in our lives where we know that before we kick it with a female, right, we got to get to know them. Because you don't know what they've been through in the past. You don't know the mindset that they're on. Because I believe as a man, that I lead, right?
Right.
I
Right.
lead
Right.
because I like when I'm chopping up with a female, right? When we kicking it, man. It's nothing like you talking to her, she understand you, and she knows where we going with it, right? And she
Right.
don't have to ask any questions, right? And she have to. I always say that she has to ask you questions, man. After that time, if you can't give her a clear answer and let her know where you're going with it, and she doesn't understand you, man, there could be some big miscommunication where emotions could get in the way and she just could be confused and asking questions all over. But that's just me. But I'll let you you take the stage, man. Tell your opinion.
Well, why men don't commit?
Mm-hmm.
First off, we're gonna break it into different categories because the thing is that men,
Mm-hmm.
everyone is different, right?
Right.
But we're all alike.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, the reason why men don't commit,
Mm-hmm.
it it depends of the man's mentality,
Mm.
upbringing, and values, and then
Okay.
how he himself
Mm-hmm.
perceive himself.
Mm.
For example, I've seen some pretty, I would say, handsome guys or whatever
Mm-hmm.
you want to call it. People who perhaps the world would deem okay, they're handsome. Okay,
Right.
we'll leave it
Right.
at that.
Mm-hmm.
And the mentality, the mindset of that individual is he doesn't see that,
Mm.
and so he will settle for whatever. But other people can see his power, his strength that he
Let me
really
ask you.
doesn't see.
Let me ask you. I'm sorry to cut you off. Why would he
Okay.
settle? When you say settle for anything, and what do you mean by that?
Well, settling meaning taking whatever is available and that's okay to him or that's good enough.
Mm-hmm.
But good enough doesn't mean best. And best according to what perhaps he could get that he doesn't know,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Right.
And so I always use this analogy. I always say that like a guy whose mind and his body match perfectly is Shaquille O'Neal, right? Like he's a basketball player, or he
Mm-hmm.
was in the NBA, and this guy, as big and tall as he is, he believes that.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And he dunked on you, and he knows that you're smaller than him, and he's stronger than you. He believes that 100%. Like there's nothing you could do about him. Like he will dominate you because he
Mm-hmm.
believes that, right? He believes in his strength.
Right.
Now you got other basketball players who are even taller than him who don't
Mm-hmm.
even want to dunk. I don't know if it's fear or what it is, but it's the mindset. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But they don't know that in their mind that they're 7 foot something and they should be dunking, doing all these things, using their strength, their body. They don't know that,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So yeah, some fellas who don't know, perhaps their strength, they don't know perhaps who they are, in order
Mm-hmm.
to tap into 100%. Now that's just one category.
Mm-hmm.
Another category is men who perhaps have developed themselves
Mm-hmm.
and to a level where they believe that um, no one can have them, right? In terms of, I've made my way up to this level to the point where why should I come low to, let's say, date this person or that person or whatever? It's like I put myself this high so that I
Mm-hmm.
can date around. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I can have options. Because I don't think there's a man who goes to the gym every single day,
Mm-hmm.
7 days a week, 365, because he's looking for one perfect girl out there. Now, uh, eventually, perhaps that will happen depending on the
Mm-hmm.
needs of that individual when it changes. But most men, if you sit down and talk to them truthfully, they'll tell you they want to bang as many women as they want,
And,
or as they
and
can.
before
Mhm.
you get into that, before you go forward, why do they want to bang as many women as they want? Why? Because a lot of women it's like they say, I do this for him. Like I treat him good. I give him affection. I cook for him. I do everything I could do to make him happy, but he just doesn't want to commit to me. He just doesn't want to marry me. He doesn't want to. Why?
Well, the thing is this too.
Mhm.
Now I'm gonna dive into this side. Is
Mhm.
that um there's we just talked about the mismatch of body and mind, right?
Right.
Now we entering into the category of when mind and body do match, how you
Mhm.
perceive yourself. So now you perceive yourself this high. Now you want everything available to you because you
Mhm.
feel like you have that strength. You know what you have, and you know
Mhm.
how to use it. And power does corrupt.
Mhm.
It's like knowing that, okay, you know what? I'm the strongest country in the world, right? Yeah, I'm gonna bully everybody. That's just how it is. So with that same thing, it's okay. You know what? I got game. I got looks. I'm gonna get as many women as I could. Why not?
That's yeah.
Right? Until you run into a brick wall, and then eventually, all right, your game is kind of, you get
Mhm.
older or whatever it is. I mean, for whatever reason, you settle, or maybe you find a girl that you want, and like, okay, you know what? I actually found my match. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Now, the third category will be somebody whose past hunts them. So you got
Mhm.
people who have these issues,
Mhm.
that these past traumas and unhealed childhood wounds
Mhm.
that they haven't solved. And so you have these people who got fear of abandonment,
Mhm.
issue. You got people who fear of commitment. You know what I mean? You got all kinds of like
Mhm.
deep trauma that's in them that they haven't solved. And within that category, there's also people. I mean, I'm very into astrology, so you got people who are, you know,
Mhm.
if you break down the birth chart and who they are, that's like going deep into the rabbit hole. But they just naturally are like that. Like, for example, if you take somebody with Venus in Gemini, which is a very complex place to have Venus. Venus is the way you love, right? In
Mhm.
astrology.
Mhm.
And
By the way, most women.
Venus,
By the way, most women are into astrology, so a
yeah,
lot
yeah,
of
yeah, and they will understand that. And for example,
them.
like a Venus in Gemini, it's a very complex thing. It's somebody who's looking for variety, who's looking for a good time, who's looking for to be stimulated mentally by different people, different places, whatever it is. You know what I mean? It's like it, it's a it's a potpourri, which is like a mix, like of
Mm,
different things. Like that's
mm.
what makes them like
Right,
that.
right.
Whether
Mm-hmm.
you look on the outside and you blame the individual, oh yeah, he's this, is that, but you judging that person, not knowing that like in his birth chart, the person is set to be like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Versus somebody who got Venus in Cancer,
Mm-hmm.
who even though they could be doing whole shit or things or whatever, or maybe they could be we live in a wild life, but deep down inside of them, they're looking for that family structure. They're looking to settle. They're looking for this and that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that they would test the water with different individuals until they find that
Mm-hmm.
to fulfill them
Mm-hmm.
emotionally.
Right, right, right.
Because the thing about the Venus in Gemini versus the Venus in Cancer, the
Mm-hmm.
Venus in Gemini run away from emotion because it's an air sign. Air sign is in the head. So they
Mm-hmm.
will run away. Once you start getting too clingy and things like that, they'll run away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that just goes deep into the rabbit hole. But it's just
Mm-hmm.
to tell you that this is another category of it, right? That is
Mm-hmm.
for somebody perhaps like if you had a partner and then like you can't figure it out, whatever.
Right,
But it
right,
could be
right.
any three of these things where okay, perhaps where also your sexual value or your what's a well how can I put this into a better so your level of attractiveness or your market value, your sexual market value as they call it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps is unbalanced or is not as high as your partner or is
Mm-hmm.
not on par. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And that could be due to somebody could be median average looking, but then in his mind he's thinking he's a beast because he has a mouthpiece. So that takes his market value high. So he can talk, he
Mm-hmm.
feels like he can talk to anybody. He could
Right.
be 5'2" and pull any girls that he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Versus somebody who's 6'3", you know what I mean, who, got all the looks and things like
Mm-hmm.
that, but maybe doesn't have that self confidence
Yeah, I come
enough.
across a lot of we come across a lot of guys like that, man. I'm telling you, it's like, yo, you got this looks, you making this type of money, and you just, and then a lot of them they're afraid of that's another video talk about afraid of rejection and all that. But keep going, bro. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, and so you have these these kind of people like where
Mm-hmm.
okay, perhaps his mind and his body don't match, and his sexual
Mm-hmm.
market value is not that high in his
Right.
mind at least,
Mm-hmm.
and then you run into these kind of problems.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, most men don't want to settle, right? I would say now, if once I leave these three categories, I'm jumping now into generalizing as to why.
Okay.
First of all, you got egregious marital laws out here that are just stopping people from
Mm-hmm.
getting married. So you got the state, who's in between the marriages, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a man does not see the value of getting married these days because simply for the fact that he's gonna be robbed of whatever he has.
Mm-hmm.
And that is if a man, if that's a man of any high value.
Mm-hmm.
Now, by saying that is that if I'm a man of high value and I see this kind of laws, that's already
Mm-hmm.
stopping me. I got to protect my assets, everything that I work for, include my emotional health and all of that. Why
Mm-hmm.
would I engage myself into something that I know perhaps I'm gonna lose? Like it's not gonna go in my favor if it goes bad, right?
Right.
And then because the thing is that you know the power, yeah, is on both sides, but it's
Mm-hmm.
more unbalanced because it's more
Mm-hmm.
on the side of a woman, right?
Right.
I'm not blaming any given side, but I'm just saying like if the woman decided that she doesn't want this marriage anymore, I mean, you could see where it's going. Like the
Yeah.
boy's gonna take
Pretty
her
much.
point blank,
Pretty much.
and he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna lose everything. And then you got also people, they do fear this disasters, perhaps
Mm-hmm.
that they're foreseeing in the future in terms of divorce and all of that. So they want to avoid that altogether. Like, they don't want to have no baby mamas running around out there. They don't want to have no kids running around out there. It's like there's some people who, think really disciplined
That's it.
and have made themselves into a disciplined individual, and they don't want to get into disasters. They want to avoid problems like that. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
where they want to come into divorce and all of that, and alimony, whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so you have these people who try to avoid these, they flee disasters.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is this is that you can get into a lot of problems these days because just on the fact that, anybody can just make up lies and things like that and
Mm-hmm.
you know, um about you, whatever it is, and and call
Right.
it call it call it quits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another problem is that many men now, man, because given the dating market, not just the dating market, but the job market,
Mm-hmm.
you got men and women who are working. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not like before where it was one side working, the other was kind of working or trying to get up there.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got women who got their own things. So it's like
Yeah.
many men asking them, so what do you need me for? You know what I mean? Because I myself, I know how to cook. If you go to any break room now these days, you find men just warming up their own food that they cook or whatever it is. You know what I mean? They know how to do things for themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the
Mm-hmm.
same thing with women. The education and all that, they could get money on their own.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like, is how do you bring two people who are supposedly independent together to depend on
Mm-hmm.
each other? So that's a problem. So men don't see the benefit of that because it's like, okay, you know what? You know, I'd rather be out there probably tricking or whatever or doing this or that and then get my satisfaction from that than have a woman in my house, I mean, who's gonna come home from work tired and all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see any benefits in that, right? I
Mm-hmm.
don't see any benefit having
No.
anybody around who want to control me, and then I'm giving my whole entire section because the thing is about marriage, you gotta be faithful, right?
Yeah.
So I'm giving my whole entire sexual desires and appetite or whatever it is in the hands of one individual who probably won't be able to satisfy that because
Yeah.
she got a job working extra hours and trying to make something out of herself as well.
Now another
So
question. A question.
go ahead.
What do you see in these type
Hmm.
of men? I mean, I know our opinion is not really going to matter, but us, we already know we're this type of guy. We talk about this all the time, bro.
Yeah.
But like, I like when you talk because like you know how to break it down into details and you're real articulate with your words. It's really dope. Me, as you see in my videos, I'll just get straight to the point, and I'll tell you, and then after that, cool. You know what I mean? But that's why I like, when you take the lead, man, you just chop it up. You know what I mean? In this particular type of subject, But my question to you is this, right?
Mm-hmm.
What should women do to not? What should women do before they talk to a guy, right? And they like him, and before they kick it, because should women know that, okay, if you're gonna deal with somebody, right? Should you want to commit with this person? I'm sorry. How can I put it? Should a woman let the guy know that she wants commitment before anything? That's the question.
Well, I think it's fair to let on both sides, like, let each other know what you're looking for in the outcome, right? But the mistake that people do is that they inflict the outcome on the individual. You see what I'm saying? Meaning that if they find something that they like, they force an outcome on that person. And you have to understand this: everybody comes from a different background, a different walk of life, and they have a different perception of what life is. And if you deem that person to you is relationship material and that you want to be with that person,
right?
then that's you. That's not the person. You see what I'm saying? And there's a lot of men also who get into a lot of trouble like that because, even me myself, I got caught up in that, like, just having my own dream or ideology or whatever it is, or my own fantasies of what I want my partner to be, right?
Right.
And that was outside of the person that I was with. Meaning that everything that the person wanted wasn't everything. Well, everything that I wanted wasn't everything the person wanted.
Right.
But the thing is that I was putting myself in a place where I let my fantasies go ahead of the reality. So you got to ask yourself, okay, like, the things that I want, is it the same thing that the person wants? And then if it's not, am I okay with it? Right? Because everybody come to their own conclusion at different times, right? You might be ready to settle right now, but this cat, he may need an extra 1.5 to 2 years. You know what I mean? Because he probably never saw the benefit of any, commitment or whatever. But now he's gonna get to see that, okay, I'm getting little sandwiches here and there to work. I'm getting taken care of. You know what I mean?
This is so.
She put a little juice box in the lunch box. You know what I mean? Things like that. A couple of Pringle chips. Like that kind of thing, right? You begin to see the benefit of that.
I tell women too, know how to cater to your man. Sometimes it's not all about. How can I put it? You know me. It's not all about letting him do his thing. Sex. It's not all about sex all the time, man. Affection. Speaking life into him. What I mean by speaking life into him, tell him nice things. Tell him how much you appreciate him. Tell him how you feel. Tell him, like, I just love the way you look at me when I lay next to you. Tell him that, oh my God, just because us as men, when we're around women, we like to feel like we're the boss, right? And another thing, we just love a woman that just listens to us, and you don't have to talk too much. You don't have to talk too much. I'm telling you, ladies, you don't have to talk too much. Just sometimes if we're just whatever, like, let's say if I'm on the computer or I'm on my phone, and you could just, what gets me when my ex-girl came up to me, right, and she just rubbed my neck. Just, I call it the 180, you know what I mean? She just rubbed my neck, and I just turned half, and she just grabbed me and hugged me. That's another subject to talk about, you know what I mean? But that's another subject to talk about in the video, you know what I mean? How to please your man. That should be the next video, right? How to please your man, right? But stuff like that makes when we're not next to you. And what happened? What we do, bro? We'll let each other up, and we be like, "Yo, man, why show you? She ate us some sandwiches, and then she just rubbed my back, man. I just." And then after that, what you gonna do, bro? Like, if he's your real friend, what you gonna do, yo, bro? That's what's up, man. You know what I mean, homegirl, yo, you need to keep that around, man. You know what I mean? Don't mess that up. That's what we're gonna say. I mean, to guys like me and you that know what we want, right? We loyal. I know I'm loyal. You know, we don't want our time. I mean, I got a lot of things going on. You got a lot of things going on with your life, right? So we don't want to waste no time. I know when I'm dealing with a particular woman, if we're kicking it, we're gonna kick it. You know, and what I mean when we're gonna kick it is like I'm gonna want to spend time with you and get to know you, and I just want somebody that's real. But that's another subject to talk about. But ladies, know how to please your man. You know, all the time. It don't have to be an argument. Everything doesn't mean it have to be an argument. I know you're emotional. I know you're emotional. But sometimes too, us as men, we like when a woman could listen to us and have some type of understanding, right? But that's not the subject tonight. But that's a part of why most men don't want to commit. Because another thing too, not trying to save the subject, a lot of women don't know how to talk to their men. They want to force things, right? Like you said, they want to force things. They force a relationship and want to commit. They want you to do this. They want, which is cool, But you got to know what type of men that you're dealing with for you to make that happen. You know, and I always throw this out there. A lot of guys, young men, like I said, between the age of 20, man, we say 18 or whatever. You know, I don't want to. I know some friends that, you know, but a lot of young guys in their early 20s to going to 30s, they don't know what women want. They don't know the mindset of women. Like sometimes I come across guys like, oh, she's mad at me because I tell her that, you know, I wanted to just be friends with her, or, you know, I don't want to get married. I don't want anything. I said, well, how long you been with her for? And he was like, I've been with her for like 2 or 3 years, and I've been kicking her for 2 or 3 years. And I would tell him, well, you know, you do know you're in a relationship, right? I mean, if you've been sharing emotions with her and talking to her, and they just don't know, bro. They just don't know. But you can take over, man. I'll let you think, bro. You know, I don't want to talk too much.
And the thing is that I don't, you know, like people like to inflict their own outcome in, you know, into the other person, you know, and they want to change the individual. They want to change that person. But the thing is that individually is what makes us beautiful, right?
Mm-hmm.
But collectively is what makes us a couple.
Right.
So you have to understand that there's some things that you're not going to be able to change in somebody, because at that point where you're trying to make them into something that they're not, then you've lost them and you lost yourself as well.
Right.
Because that's a difficult thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that has to do with compatibility.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay to let go of somebody in order to find somebody you're more compatible with. Like for me, for example, in my last relationship, I learned that I don't like somebody who's not very expressive. You know what I mean? Who will keep the love for themselves. It's like, yeah, they know that they love you, you know, deeper than you know, your own understanding. But the thing is that she wasn't able to show it.
Right.
And she tried, but she couldn't. Now, will I judge a fish by his ability to climb a tree? No. It's something that later, after the, you know, the fallout of the relationship, that I learned that, okay, you know what? Perhaps I shouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? But the thing is that I've learned from that, and I said to myself, I don't want anybody like that who's not expressive with the love, you know? And that has to do with compatibility. You got to know, you can't, if you see something that you like, right? And it's one thing only, and perhaps you have like 9 other things out of 10 that's just that you don't like, but you just glue to that one thing, then you're in the wrong place. They just put it at that. You know what I mean? You can say, oh yeah, you know, the person got body, but then everything else is a disaster, right?
Oh, I know. I
Now,
came
are
across
you in
some.
a
I know I came across some
Well,
women like that, man. That's crazy, man. They
no,
have
that's a
that.
crazy compromise.
Hmm.
That's a crazy compromise, and there's a lot of people who are willing to do that. You know what I mean? To see where it goes, to try to make it work. They'll even stay in that and have kids and all of that, and then,
Hmm.
and I mean,
Sure.
it's disaster. You know?
It won't work.
And then you got some people too where you got to take account of, because the past, right? The past writes the present and it will determine the future.
Right.
I remember I was on a date with a girl and she told me that she left a guy because she wanted to travel to another country and he wanted to settle down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, she didn't think that perhaps in my head I was already thinking that as a mental note. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing is,
Mm-hmm.
based on what she told me,
Mm-hmm.
is that, in other words, commitment gives her fear. It gives her cold feet and she wants to
And,
flee
and
from that situation.
that's another thing too, bro. That's another thing too. Ladies, us men, we catch on to things, right? Especially us that do have experience, right? Whatever you say in the beginning of a conversation, anything, we'll always remember that.
A wise man will depict anything that he learned in the conversation,
Mm-hmm.
not to use it against you. He will if he needs to, but the thing is that he will remember it so that he can perhaps, you know, use it to his advantage so it doesn't hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
when I heard that from her, I knew that it's somebody that perhaps, like, yeah, I should have just banged and just left, because the thing is that,
Mm-hmm.
I can't try. Imagine, like, if I was to go out with her, right, and we get into a relationship or whatever, and she's a beautiful girl,
Mm-hmm.
and I made that mistake of, like, okay, you know what, she's beautiful, let me stay here, blah blah blah, this and the third. Now we go 1 year, 2 years in a relationship or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the moment things get real serious, where I'm gonna pop the question, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, can we, let's get married? She'll probably say no, because I learned that in the beginning that she got cold feet. She's a person who has cold feet, and
Mm-hmm.
if we go further down into her history, she probably has a history of that, and that's probably due to some, unknown reason. But
Mm-hmm.
there are some people who are like that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they will
Mm-hmm.
get cold feet in leave situations. So it really depends of what you see and what you hear, and then
Mm-hmm.
how much you willing to compromise in terms of what's real and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
if it's just about body, you can find 10,000, you can find millions of people out there with body. If it's mind, that's a little harder, but it's possible to find somebody who's compatible to you mentally. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Now,
Mm-hmm.
find a compromise between the two, that's the hardest part, because,
And
it's like,
there, there's a saying too. I mean, I can't say it word for word, but there's a saying that you only have that one good person in your life.
right.
You only have that one good person in your life. If you're lucky, you have two. I mean, I don't know if I say it word for word, but like there's a saying like that, and it does make a lot of sense. So this is why I always say to women too, right? You
Mm-hmm.
know the type of guy you're getting into, because in these times right now, you know, I'm not saying that, it's for both women and men, but you got to be careful what you say, because what you want when you're talking to a specific person, because in the beginning you may say, okay, this is what I want, right? And you're talking to them, to the person, right, to the individual, and you think, okay, this is the person I'm just talking to, and then later on, this person could be the person you actually want to be with, you know? And
Yeah.
us as men, a lot of times, so I know I've came across a female, particular female in my past. Hey, I know I went to a lot. And she told me, I just want to be friends, and I just want to be, and we got comfortable. She was like, I just want to be friends with benefits. You know what I'm talking about? Homegirl, Nia
Yeah.
Long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not Nia, actually, Nia Long, but I'm talking about she look like Nia Long. You remember that?
Yeah.
And,
Code name. Yeah.
yeah, you already know, yeah. And we was kicking it, man. I mean, I'm talking about this girl, but when I seen her, bro, man, this is the girl I wanted to be with. She didn't want to be with me. But as time went on, when she's really into you, she's putting extra time calling you. She want to cook for you. Um, she send you nice pictures, and she's letting you know she's expressing how she's feeling. And then She told me in the beginning, yo, we just want to be friends. I just want to be friends. We could be friends with benefits. And then she's showing me like she's nonchalant, showing me like she's chilling with this person, that person, and you talking to me, you know. And then later on, when you want to get with me and you want to go further, now you want commitment. I'm like, yo, you know, we could just keep it just like this, you know. And then she got me because I didn't want anything more than that, you know. So it's just, yeah, it's just, you know, that's it, man. So the question is this, right? I don't know how much time you got left, bro. So
No, I'm here.
okay. What should women do? What should women do? Did I ask that question already? What should women do to not deal with a particular guy that don't want commitment, or whoever she's with that don't want commitment? What should she do?
Well, the most important thing, first and foremost, the most important thing is knowing self. Because if you know self, then you will know what kind of guy that you will want. Because if you know yourself, meaning that you know your strength, your weakness, your vulnerabilities, what you're susceptible to,
Right.
and what you compromise for, all of these things, all of those things matter, right? Like some people, like a fat ass, it's like that's it, that's like their weakness, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or some people, a beautiful face, you know what I mean? Or some people, everybody, or for a girl, for example, maybe just, you know, it's a bigger guy, you know, with a tattoo or bald headed. I mean, you gotta know what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, you know what I mean? And then you gotta know if those things are healthy for you, you know what I mean?
Right.
And
Right.
knowing yourself is very important because you will know exactly what not to do and what to do, right? Because if you know yourself, you'll be like, man, nah, I'm not going there because I know what that could do to me, or you know. But if you know that also the chase or the thrill is what excites you, you know what I mean? That's also part of knowing yourself. But some people, they live their life in their entire lives without knowing that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got to know yourself first. Then you'll know what you attract, you know, because for example, like a guy like me, right? Just the aura that I give out is I attract a lot of damaged women, like women who have like issues, you know, that I have to help them solve. Now I don't have to help them solve it, but that's just the cards I'm dealt with, right? In terms of, you know, the kind of, and they're dangerously beautiful, you know,
Yeah, I know
most of
that.
them, and yeah,
Bro, I be telling you,
so
bro, when we be talking to women, man, I'm telling you, man, like it's crazy, man. This is
it,
most people. We don't listen that more. We was walking when you had your shirt. I had my look. This is the person.
yeah,
And then what happened? They asked us, "How do you get these type of women?
exactly,
How do you get these type
and
of
that's
women?"
just how it is.
Why,
I mean,
ask them this question.
we do our part. Uh-huh.
What do we do to get them? What we do?
Well, the thing is, what we do on my part, especially, what I do is that I am genuine
Uh huh.
because I don't like lies. So my game is I accept losses, I accept
Mm-hmm.
defeat. So if I'm gonna talk to a girl, perhaps she's not feeling my game and this and that is part of the game. It's like having a store, right? It's not every customer gonna walk in that's gonna buy. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you're gonna have customer, and that's why your store is open because it keeps on running. Because there are customers who are gonna buy, but there's gonna be a few. They're gonna return items and everything. So that is part of the game. You have to accept your defeats. You know what I mean? So
Uh-huh.
how I get them is by being genuine. Now it's up to you to accept it or not. And
Mm-hmm.
then just I leave a marking impression. I think to me,
Mm-hmm.
that's my own signature. Is that it's important for me to leave a lasting impression on a woman, meaning that the things that I do, how I am, and that has nothing to do with me trying to like go out of my way to make her feel like, oh my god, like you know, like let's say simping, you know what I mean? They just like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not simping, right? But the thing is,
Mm-hmm.
I have a lasting impression on every woman that I dated, and I know how I know that because a lot of them try to come back, and you know, I
Mm-hmm.
don't want them. But
Mm-hmm.
the things that I will do, the average person won't do, right? In terms of my presence, how people around react to me,
Mhm.
uh, my self confidence,
Mhm.
uh, how I carry myself in terms of my demeanor. You know what I mean? My 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 physique. You know, my mental state.
Right.
In terms of the things that how I dress, the cologne I'm gonna wear. You know what I mean? You know the details. You know what I mean? It's very, very, very particular to me, and
Mhm.
how I carry my woman with me. You know what I mean? How I bring her up to a level that perhaps she wasn't. Because the thing is that
Mhm.
I always believe in bettering the individual, right?
Mhm.
So if you're gonna be my miss, I can't have you be a bum. You know what I mean? Rather
Mhm.
is you don't know how to do this or don't know how to do that. If I like you enough and I say, okay, you know what, there are areas where you like, I want to bring you up to that level. Like
Right.
that's something
Right.
that you're gonna have to work. And that is only if you want to do it,
Mhm.
right? Because if you don't want to do it, then I understand that the contract at that point is short. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do my thing and I'm out of there. But
Mhm.
if I deem that okay, you know what, that you are trying to put in as much effort as I'm trying, then
Mhm.
I see that okay, you know what, I'm gonna try to bring you up to a level that perhaps or make you discover things in yourself that you haven't seen before, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's on my part, right? And the woman will also have do her things in her own way that's gonna leave an impression on me.
Right.
But on my side, what I do is that I leave a marking impression on the woman that I'm gonna be with, point
Mhm.
blank, because she she's gonna remember me forever. Like even if she goes
Mhm.
out, let's say if I wasn't when we started talking, perhaps there were other candidates in the group or whatever, which you would
Mhm.
never know. But the thing
Right.
is that
I never know.
you as the person can only worry about yourself. So the
That's
way
it.
you do your thing, you got a code of ethics,
Mhm.
you got a procedure in how you do things, and you have a certain way of making things very special is what leaves the impression on her, right?
Mhm.
The way you speak, all this eloquence and all of that, like the way you articulate words, the way you're able to
Mhm.
sense, just using your intuition and able to feel
Mhm.
like, okay, you know what, today she's down, she's this, you know what I mean, and able to bring solutions and ideas and things like that,
Mhm.
being spontaneous and
Mhm.
also believe in romance and things like that. Like
Mhm.
these are things that you know helps a man cultivate himself to a point where you're like no other,
Mhm.
right? So she might leave you for whatever reason, and she might go to whatever next guy. But the thing is that it's not the same. The grass won't be
Yeah.
green on the other side.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
also, I always talk about making yourself better, learning more, and being this and that. Always trying to be better and productive and all of that. So
That as a
wherever
man.
she left,
As a man.
as a man, yeah,
Mhm.
wherever she left you or wherever you left her, the thing is that you will always be better, right? Because
Mhm.
your mindset is to be better, is to
Mhm.
always become better.
Mhm.
So when she leaves and she comes back, she see you even better.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So
I always say this.
leave those regrets.
I always tell women this, right? And I always tell women this: when a guy really wants you, he's gonna show you every type of way. And this is why the compliment what you're saying that what you do with a woman, what you do with a particular female, you do that because this is your way of showing her that I want to be with you. You know what I mean? You investing your time, your busy time, your time out of your schedule to be with her. You know, and I always tell women this, right? The women that I know, and I know a lot of women. You know, I know. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
you know, I know women. I don't want to be braggadocious and make it seem like okay, I know women. You know, because everybody's saying they ain't know women. They don't really know women, but I have a lot of female friends, right?
yeah,
And they ask me just like, I'll tell them no. I said, look, a guy really wants you. He's gonna make it happen. He's gonna tell you, look, I want to be with you. Especially you got good qualities about yourself. Like you got some type of education. You're respectful. What else? You take care of yourself. Hygiene, exercise. you love yourself, confidence, he's gonna be like, look, yo, you ain't going nowhere, yo, come with me. You know what I mean? We gonna, you my girl now. He gonna let you know. And I've done it before, where
Yeah.
not to get too personal, where I had an ex fiance in the past, you know, and as soon as I met her, we know each other for like a good 2 or 3 months. And of course, I was much more younger. Um, but I told her straight up, yo, I didn't propose to her. I told her straight up, yo, I want to, let's get married. Of course, she was much more younger, and that was my mistake. Because like we were saying, you can't rush anyone to do anything. Because but not make a long story short, if a guy really wants you, let's say a guy really wants you, he's gonna make it happen. He's not gonna waste no time. He's gonna want to meet your family. One of the things that he's really gonna do, he's gonna introduce you to his mom.
Yep.
He's gonna introduce you to his mom. When he introduces you to your mom, you better know that you don't want. Don't mess it up, ladies. Don't mess it up. If you introduce your mom, don't mess it up.
Yeah. The thing about it too, us guys, what a lot of people don't tend to overlook is that we fall harder and we fall faster for women.
That's true.
Women, it takes longer for them to fall for a guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a difference between falling in love,
Mm-hmm.
quote unquote, and then being infatuated, right? Because there are the difference between the two. Infatuation, you know what I mean, is just being like is lust in a sense
Mm-hmm.
where you're chasing after that one thing and then you just like about
Mm-hmm.
it. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But does it mean you're in love with it? Probably not. You know what I mean? It's like having a cute puppy, but shitting all over the rug and all that shit. You know what I mean? Like it's like that. You know what I mean? But oh my god, meow, he's cute. You know what I mean? Like yeah, that's infatuation right there.
Uh-huh.
You really love that person. You know what I mean? That's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of us, a lot of people forget that us men that we fall first and we fall harder. And if a man shows you, you know what I mean, that he wants you, he's gonna do certain things. He's gonna now there are some men who mask, you know, he got game when he use it to their advantage, you know what I mean, and like mask their real feelings, their real emotion. But the thing is
Mm-hmm.
that every human has this thing that they cannot do, which
Mm-hmm.
is showing their intention, right? There's a difference between action and words,
All right.
right? And your job as
Uh,
an individual is to is
Before
to is to
you go forward, ladies, the key word: action and words. Two different things.
yep. And your
Action,
job,
words.
yep.
Two different things. He can tell you I love you. Is he showing you he love you? Now, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Keep doing your
Yeah, you
thing.
could. And so the difference between action and words, right? And your job as an individual, is to see the congruency between the two.
Uh-huh.
Meaning, whatever the words that he's saying versus the
Mm-hmm.
action that he's showing, does it match?
Mm.
And that's where you got to look to see, okay, and use your intuition and see, okay, you know what? Like, he said this, said that, and he's done that. Or he showed this and he said that.
Mm-hmm.
Back it up. You know what I mean? But there are people who are going to write checks that they can't cash. So your job is to really see that, okay, you know what? And you know what? That's something in my last relationship that happened where there was a lot of words that weren't backed up by action. You know what I mean? Which was a no go for me because I'm the type of person is that I believe in truth, and so
Mm-hmm.
whatever
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna say, I will hold that against you. You know what I mean? Because I do believe that there has to be congruency between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Because on my part, and another thing too is this: on your part, you need to do your part and don't worry about the other person's part because
Mm-hmm.
at least when it comes to like debates and arguments or whatever it is, you will
Mm-hmm.
have your receipts and say, I did this, I did that, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And nobody will be able to take that away from you or
Mm-hmm.
from the relationship.
And then another thing too, I want to add
That,
to that. I don't mean to cut you off, people. I'm sorry. I
right,
don't mean to interrupt because this is where it's getting good. Ladies, you don't have to. If you do anything for a man, right? You don't have to repeat what you did. I'm telling you, you don't have to because we know this. We see this. When you're not around, we're thinking about you. Especially when we chopping it up. Like for example, like I could be chopping up with me and Louis. I'm like, yo, damn, yo, how? He's gonna ask me. He's gonna ask me, how your girl doing? Yo, we good, man. Like, yo, homegirl, you know what she did for me, yo? We did this and do that. But when we get around you, we're gonna be like, yo, hey, you know, we're gonna be ourselves and just be cool. But yo, we really like you, man. We're gonna talk to our boy. We're gonna let them know what you did for us. And he's old, our boy, especially with my Lou. When we chop it up, we always be like, "Word!" Like it's always so like we like each other's cheerleaders, you know.
yeah,
We like each other's cheerleaders. We was like, "Yo, man," we check in. We like, "Yo," and then it's always that head nod we do. We like, that, and then we get that little smile like, "Ah,
right,
that's what's up,"
right,
because we know that when our women that we kick it with, we lead, we lead,
exactly.
and you're right here. So when we go up, you go up too. All right, that's another video we're gonna talk about too.
Yep.
Why men?
Yes.
I mean, we don't want to bring in that, but I got a lot of ideas and everything. But I'm sorry, keep going because I gotta break it down to them, especially the women I know, because they want answers, man, and we gotta let them know that look, we're here for them. Us type of men, we're here for them, you know. But they gotta understand and listen too, and understand that us as men, you know, why some men, not all men, don't want to commit.
But the thing too, when you mention some of the
Mm-hmm.
things that you mentioned earlier is that, um, you gotta have a strong intuition, and you gotta. It's some intuition. Yeah, some people got it naturally, but you have to develop it.
You gotta
So
listen
when a
to it.
woman tells you,
Mm-hmm.
for example, what you were just mentioning, like, you know, everything that she did and all of that, I just in my ear, somebody who just want to be appreciated. You know what I mean? So it's an easy fix as
We
opposed to having an argument with her.
that. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You just be like, okay, you know what? Let me just do something for her to show her my appreciation,
Mm-hmm.
or let me just you just tell her I appreciate her. You know what I mean? While we're in the bed or something like that, you give her a kiss. Hey, you know what? I appreciate everything you do for me,
Mm-hmm.
everything you do for this relationship, this and that, right?
Right.
Because it is an effort to
Mm-hmm.
also, you know, to also be with somebody and to
Mm-hmm.
accept. Because you're not gonna like everything everybody does. You know what I mean? Like, like a nigga like me, I'm gonna pee on the seat. And I wipe it sometime or whatever.
You
I
know
wake
somebody.
up in the middle of the night trying to pee. I can't aim. You know what I mean? Like, oh, where am I? Like so.
You know ew. Not see.
Right. Exactly. And and I know that, it takes some loving for a woman, you know what I mean,
Uh.
to like that point, you know what I mean? I'm gonna clean after myself, but sometimes, you know what I mean, the sleep is too good, I'm gonna go back, so
Uh.
there are things like that where you're not gonna like about me that I know it's a compromise and
By
it's
the
an
way,
effort that you're doing.
I gotta make this clear. By the way, my future wife, I don't pee on the seat. All right, so you know, you can go.
Hey, she's lucky. And so on, on that part, it's like I know that it's a compromise and I know that it's something that it takes some loving to accept,
Uh-huh.
and you got to be aware of that whatever compromises that we are making for the individual is out of love, and then that
Right,
part
right.
has to be the person has to be shown appreciation for compromising. Now I'm not saying compromise everything, because at that
Mm-hmm.
point you lose yourself, but there are checks and balances that you need to have, you know what I mean? And so, if you know that peeing on the seat is a no-no, then that person can do it, or that person don't like to clean, that person don't like to do this. Okay, it's how much you're willing to accept or not. If you're willing to accept it and you like it like that, stay in there if you want.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know that's gonna be a big issues, you know what I mean, and that is definitive of a person's character, how they perhaps are able to, you know, not clean up after themselves, and that could show
Mm-hmm.
some other. signs or traits in their life how to move around, but that doesn't mean check out the individual. But
Right.
it's about what you're willing to accept, what you're not willing to accept, and then also what you're not willing to accept, and that the person does, but at the same time, shows you the appreciation for accepting them like that. That's love. That's part of love. I mean, like, okay, you know what? I know that you snore like hell. All right, cool. I put my earplugs and I still love you. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah. Oh man.
yeah, it's like,
Yeah. I mean, us as men too. Another thing too. If we really like you, we really like. Nothing really bothers us. Anything could be workable. We'll put up with it. So that's another thing too.
There's a lot of women who come with a lot of. There's a lot of women who come with a lot of trauma. A lot of men too come with a bunch of issues and trauma.
Both sides. Both sides.
A lot of trauma, and I'm telling you, man, if like for the type of tough cases I come across, and I am not a doctor or psychologist, but the thing is, when I say cases, because the individual that I've been with, it's a mental job. You know what I mean? Your intuition got to be 10 steps ahead. You know what I mean? Your game got to be like, a mile ahead in order to see and depict what these individuals are thinking and how they operate. You know what I mean? And so, it takes a lot of brain, you know what I mean, to just to see who these people are, you know what I mean, in depth. And so, develop your intuition and always trying to look beyond the tea leaf, because what you see in the forefront, it is. There's a root to it, and it's just about you willing to go deeper and trying to find what it is and helping that individual heal. Everybody has trauma, from the richest person to the poorest person. All have trauma.
Everybody has trauma.
We all have some from which we're hiding or trying to flee from. There are people who use sex to cover up their real emotions and all of that. There are people who are willing to use drugs. There are people who are willing to use alcohol. There are people who are willing to use anything. You name it.
Yeah, I remember.
Anything in order to mask who they are.
Right. I remember one time when I was in the previous video I had before about why relationships don't work, and I did bring up about my past relationship. I'm talking about the girl I was with, and my thing for me, like, when it just happened, bro, because I put so much time and energy into it, and my thing, what happened with me, I was in a previous relationship before that, right? And after that previous relationship I was in, I got into another relationship where that was just nothing but trauma that happened to me. And what happened, what homegirl did to me, she did me dirty. Now, I forgave her and everything. We was cool. We had conversations after that, after 4 years, and we talked about it, and that's what made me, how can I say it? After that, that's what actually got me forward. Imagine for 4 years, bro, I'm coming across different women, and and my thing was to get over this. I thought all women were the same. So what did I do with them? I was pumping and dumping. You know what I mean? I came across some cool women that was just wanted to be with me, and I did it because I felt that she was just trying to get me, And this is where it gets dangerous, because some women, they could come across guys that was just like me, and I didn't want to commit. You know what I mean? I came across, and it's crazy too, I came across some beautiful women, real educated women. And they just want to deal with me. And today, right now, they're very successful. They're doctors, for lawyers, business owners, and we're still cool. And they understood why I didn't want to commit, and I was hurt. And what women have to know is that know the type of guy you're dealing with. Know the type of guy you're dealing with before you let him in you. Because sexually, that's very fragile. That's the most precious thing you could give to a man. And most women don't understand that, because in today's world, women are told that you could do what a man could do. Which is another subject to talk about. But me, I understand after that situation, I talked to my ex, I knew that, not all women are the same. Because she came up to me and told me it wasn't me, it was her. Because she was trying to get what she could try to get, and she used my emotions for it, you know? So, and I understood, and she apologized, you know? But, ladies, know the type of guy you're getting into. Please, you have to, because there's more of you than men, you know? And you don't know that nice guy that you're talking to. You're putting your time and energy to this guy that don't want to commit to you, but that guy that you walking past by you, hey Sheila, how you doing? You look nice today. Hey Rosie, where you going today? What you getting into? That guy could be your husband. That guy could be your husband.
And that's very true because there's a lot of women who passed up the guys that they were supposed to be with, like to marry or more compatible with. But the thing is that, again, the chase of the thrill, I guess it's too mundane to have, the type of guy that's gonna chill you out a little bit, So some people are still in the chase of the thrill, and I could go for years, I could go for decades. Some people don't get married till in their 40s. Some people will get married early and then have bad experiences, So it really depends on the individual too. But yeah, know the man you want to talk to and know yourself. More
Know
important.
yourself. Know yourself.
Know yourself, because if you know yourself, then you will know what is your weakness, what could be danger to you, what could be good for you, and all of that. Because
also too, your friends, ladies, your friends, know the type of girls you got around you, because you got it worse. Yeah, you.
Yeah, they're influential. Yeah.
Us, we could have guys. We got some hating ass bitch ass niggas. I'm just sorry the word bitch ass niggas. Bitch ass. We got them around, but we know how to. All right, you know what? This guy like he hating on me, dry hating. Look, women, they come to you, hey girl, how you doing? And they turn around and get back. Oh damn, you see how we look? Oh my god, you see how? Oh my god, she should wear that outfit. And then, ladies, know the friends you get, because that guy that you're talking to, that's a nice guy. And then she said that, oh, don't talk to him. Talk to Rodney. Talk to Tony. He's popular, but he got.
And this is the reason why.
Hey, that chick right there, she's looking to destroy you.
And this is the reason why you got to know yourself, because the thing is that if you know yourself, right, and you know what you want and all these things, there's nobody who can come and influence your decision like that, because you will know what's good for you versus what Keisha and LaQuisha and them want for you. You know what I mean? But the sad thing these days is that every other girl, right, what they want is that they want.
Don't forget about Karen, Elizabeth, whoever.
Yeah, and Sharon and all of them, and Becky. So
Becky.
The thing is that most women, sadly, is that they want they're gonna not most, but you got some women out there. They're gonna pick a guy based on what the approval rate will be from their friends and family and peers, which is very sad, because that means one scary thing that those kind of women don't take into account is that at the moment that your friends and them approve, I mean that they will fuck them. You know what I mean? If you let that guy go. So you got situations where some girls are like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, my man cheated on me with my best friend and this and that. Yeah, but if we look at your picking and choosing criteria, it's based on, the liking of your friends and your family and whatnot, you know what I mean? Or you all have the same type of taste in men. So it's like, then at that point, he's gonna pass you all around. So once you know who you are and what you want and what you like, trust me, it's gonna be different in your sister, your friend, your cousin, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, y'all could have some similarities. Because perhaps maybe you grew up in an army family. Okay, so you like men who are in the army. All right, cool. But then
Right.
there are subcategories of other things that you might like that perhaps differentiates between that man and the next man or the man that your friend or your cousin has.
Mm-hmm.
But if you making a choice solely based on what's popular,
Mm-hmm.
you are heading for disaster. I'm telling you. You know what I mean? Because the thing is that the culture changes, the economy changes,
Mm-hmm.
your own likes changes. Because the thing is, as you grow older, you will change. That's a no brainer. You will change, and the things that you like will change.
I'm gonna
And
tell you
so, if
this.
you're a guy who's a basketball player, right, and you say, okay, I want basketball player, and then he breaks his leg, he can't play basketball no more. And you are forgetful of the fact that okay, you're supposed to like the individual for other things too. All right,
Mm-hmm.
so he's popular, he was a basketball player, this and that, he can't play no more. What do you have left? Essentially.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell
So
you
you got to think.
this.
Mhm.
To add to what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
This is one of the things why a lot of women that they cheat, right? Or a lot of women, they love to mess with guys like us.
Hmm.
Because we're the type of guys where we're real cool, real chill. And I'm telling you, these type of women, ladies, I'm telling you, these type of women, they could be your friends. They'll tell you this, we're this and we're that, just so you don't mess with them. But they'll come to us and they'll tell us that they don't want us to talk to you. They'll, yeah, because women, I'm telling you, your friends, all your friends are not your friends. I'm telling you. So that nice guy that you see, trust your instincts. Continue to talk to him, because that guy could be your husband. I'm
Yep.
telling you, he could be your husband.
And
And
no, go ahead.
now I was just telling you that basketball player that you see, cool. No hate, anything. I got friends that are basketball players too. Now, I mean, not professional basketball players, but went to high school with them, cool. But they're gonna do their thing. You know, um, they know what they want because, or should I say, should I say they know what they want or whatever? They got particular women that they deal with, right? But sometimes too, you have to understand he's for everybody. Now, I'm not trying to say that because he's a basketball player, you shouldn't talk to him. He may could be want to be with you, but you have to understand if you see him with another female, he's dealing with a particular female, and then he was talking to this person. That you know about it. That doesn't mean that you're going to be the main one. That doesn't mean that. Now, he could see some value in you, and that value that he finds in you, he want to be with you. He's showing it to you. That's different. But you have to understand that the nice guy that you come across, that could be a once in a lifetime opportunity for you for that moment. Once in a
And
lifetime opportunity.
I would add to that. I
Mm-hmm.
would add to that. The grass is not always green on the other side. We're not forcing anybody to be with a certain type of person or anything like that. No. The thing is this
Mm-hmm.
is that the grass is not always green on the other side. So you also gotta be self-conscious. This is the reason why I always emphasize on know yourself. Because the thing is that if
Mm-hmm.
you know yourself, you're gonna live in reality. You're gonna
Mm-hmm.
say to yourself, okay, you know what? I'm 28 or 30, whatever the age is, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this is and this is where I'm at in life.
Mm-hmm.
I got a regular career. I got a nice little apartment. I got this and that. What kind of man I can get? You gotta be realistic with yourself
You gotta
because the
be
thing is
realistic
that
with yourself.
right. If you're out there and you're keeping up with your body and things like that, and say, okay, you know what? I'm this type of woman, this caliber woman. I got things going on for myself. Then you're gonna exude this aura on you that says that I need the same back, or somebody who's on the same level as me. But if you are out there and then you don't have much going on, or maybe you got one of the things going on, you let your body
Mhm.
go and things like that. Don't expect to get a basketball player. And then in your mind, it's like there's a contradiction between who you are versus what you
Mhm.
can get.
That.
And that's terrible because the thing is that you always deceive yourself,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah, you can get lucky once in a while. All right, cool. You might get somebody who, perhaps that, all right, cool. He was just looking for a person like you, whatever. That happens. We
Mhm.
don't
Mhm.
discredit that. But the thing is that
Right.
you got to be realistic in
Mhm.
terms of who you are versus what you can get out there. It's
Mhm.
not to limit your mind, but there are levels to this, right?
Mhm.
Where um and the thing is, for women, it's a little bit easier because the thing is that
Yes,
for women,
definitely.
a man could just like you for whatever reason. Like, we don't have to have many reasons to like you, but we could like you for whatever reason, and then we could take you and then upgrade you. That's always
Mhm.
happened. Women can do that for men. They can't upgrade us. It's not many. They would do that, but not many of them would upgrade us like we will upgrade them. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So you could be at the low level, and then the guy will uplift you. You know what I mean? Just because he
Mhm.
like you, whatever.
That's about.
So
That's
for
about.
us, man, we gotta work harder.
Mhm.
We gotta work harder. You know what I mean? And diligently for us to get from here to there. You know what I mean? And that's whether you're working on your game or your mouthpiece, how you talk to women, or you're working on your physique, or you're working on your money, whatever those
Mhm.
category you're working on, or if you're working on all three, kudos to you. You know what I mean? But that's how we get them better. Now, the thing is that men are a little bit more realistic in terms of what they can get versus women.
Mhm.
Because the
Mhm.
thing about women is that they go with what's popular and things like that. So, if, for example, if you see, like, if one woman is wearing bonnet, the whole entire crew is wearing bonnets. Right?
Right. What about the other side? I mean, I was the other side. We said bonnets, but you know.
Yeah. If one side's wearing this, they're all gonna be wearing that. They go with what's popular, and that
Uh,
that's not what's the word I'm looking for?
mhm.
It doesn't match you as an individual, right?
Mhm.
Like, okay, you know what? Like, I'm chasing after basketball players, but I myself, I don't even go to the gym. I don't even know what a gym look like. I don't do nothing for myself, right? But
Mhm.
I expect this. You can't have expectations in life and not work for it. Like, you gotta have actions and hard work behind
Mhm.
everything that you believe you deserve, and then luck will come in. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying, and give you those opportunities. But
Mhm.
you can't be demanding and entitled in
Mhm.
order to get what you want. It doesn't work like that. Life has never worked like that. You will disappoint
Mhm.
yourself every single time. Or
Right.
if you
Right.
do
Right.
want to
Right.
cross that, you won't know how to handle it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? As we've seen a lot of women do. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, you know what? You said you want this thing. Did you ever work to actually get that? Did you ever
Mhm.
do anything to actually keep something like that before? No,
Mhm.
you haven't. Now that you got it, now somebody like that comes into your life. What are you gonna do with it? And you will see many times a lot of
Mhm.
them would just will play around with it or take it for granted, and you know what I mean, and toss it. So even that thing that you want, you might not get it. That's
Mhm.
based on who you are. That's why it's important to know self. And once you know self, then
Mhm.
you're able to fix certain areas where you yourself take accountability, because that's the
Mhm.
most important part. Part of knowing self is being accountable and say, okay, you know what? I'm a liar. I need to fix that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Oh, simply I'm a hoe. Yeah. I mean, I need to fix that. I'm a hoe. Okay, cool. Let me fix that. Let me get somebody. Let me fix that part of me so I could stop being a hoe. So I could be with better people who will be more committed to me. I mean, there are things like
Right.
that you can do, but it's about being accountable first and foremost and
Mhm.
knowing self. And then you're able to attract whoever you want, and in the manner that for example, if you are living somewhere where, or if you're not a bar person, or you're not this type of person, or whatever it is, maybe learn how to do that so you can be more out there. And okay, you know
That's
what?
it.
I'll let them people talk to me. If
Mhm.
you're an introvert, then perhaps be a little bit more extroverted. Try to,
Mhm.
or maybe go to places perhaps where there are people who are just like you, and then
Right. Right.
maybe
Right.
spark. from there. You know, all right, you're an introvert. Go to a library. You might meet a guy over there reading a book, minding his own business. Run across him, hi, and you know, you never know. So
Yeah.
you
Also,
gotta be
too,
realistic in who you are.
also too. Look, I was gonna ask a question though, but that should be another subject. Should women go up to men? You know, topic. But that's another subject. That's another video. If ladies, if you listen to this, if you're watching this, if you would like to know how to attract a man, how to talk to him, write that in the comment section and let us know. All right. What just let us know. This channel's for women and also too for the fellas too that want to know. And what I want to do with the video too, I'm sorry to cut you off and get off subject a little bit. I want to get men and women together, right? Men and women together to be comfortable with each other and know what we want. You know, there is no channel that we're gonna have the men against the women. You know what I mean, or women against men. None of that. None of that. You know. And also, I have my other videos where I come in and we're talking about some real shit, man. You know what I mean? About people, family. Let's keep it real worldwide. Let's keep it real worldwide because God willing, I would love this channel to grow. I would really love to talk to other people from all over the world and they could put their input about something and we could just create a solution, with everything that's going on, especially in the YouTube world. Everybody is just men against women. Nah, because I truly believe that, women, we need you as men. We need you, and men, right? You need us. We need you. So ain't gonna be no
It's
beef.
about finding the balance.
It's about finding balance,
It's
man.
about finding the balance. And left hand washes right hand washes left hand.
That's it.
And if one side deem himself that he understands the other more without actually going there, then that's just being foolish. So
I got bad no matter
you
what.
gotta know. So you gotta know the balance. You know what I mean? Like nobody's more right than their friend, but the thing is that you have to understand. You have to understand the problems and the issues, and they have to be talked about point blank. Nobody can run away from the issues. Women have a bunch of nonsense that they do the same way that us men, we got a bunch of nonsense that we do.
Too.
But
Accountability.
Accountability. And I would say this, men take a little bit more accountability than women. That I would give to men. But both sides have to take a lot of accountability for what they're doing. They have to acknowledge what the problems are. Instead of passing it on to somebody else, instead of passing it on to a lawyer or to whoever, to the government, whoever. Take accountability for who you are, because if you do your part individually, collectively, we are all better.
We both got a lot of work to do, men and women. We got a lot of work to do. And I have to say this: I love women. I love you. I love you guys. I love women. I'll say you love you guys, women. I love women. I love you guys. You guys are. I love you guys. I love everything about you. And not trying to make it seem too sentimental, but it's like I want to remind you. You know what I mean, as a man, that us as men that do understand women, we care for you. No matter what shape, size you are, we care for you. And this is one of the reasons why we did this video today, because most men, I'm sorry, not most men, most women, a lot of women want to know why most men don't want to commit. And yeah, I mean, I hope, if there's anything that you want to know, write down a comment. You know what I mean? And, please be positive. Don't say anything. I can understand everybody. A lot of women, they want answers. They need understanding. It's true. But please, ladies, of course we're gonna have the haters up there too. We gotta please, you a hater too, write down in the comment section too, please, it don't matter, but nothing can break us. But
yeah,
nothing can break us, because I know I'm gonna elevate, you're gonna elevate. Ladies, we want you to elevate, but we would like you to elevate and be happy. What we mean by happy, find the person that you should be with, and that can make you happy. You know, and someone that could take the lead, that can lead and guide you. Because we know that us as men, when I look at a woman and I want to deal with specific women, I want to lead. You know, that's what I would love to do, especially when I meet my future. And you know, I would like to lead. You know, but I believe this is my calling. You know, and to get all the people together, and then you know, we just chop it up, we just kick it. You know, and like what I said in the last video, peep game and keep it moving. You know, so yeah, man. I don't know if I cut you off or anything, though, but I just felt like I had to, you know, put that out there, you know. So
Oh yeah, no. And just to wrap things up, in my own opinion, I think there's a lot of misunderstanding between the two
mhm,
groups, and you know, for like I always mention,
mhm.
accountability. It's time to begin.
It's
It's
time.
time to take accountability on both sides and try to fix. Everybody has to fix themselves and do their
Mhm,
part, and don't
mhm.
pass the problem to somebody else. Don't think that another person will be better for you. Because the thing is that if you don't solve your issues and you take that problem to that guy that you actually want, then at that point, you just losing in life at that point. So you gotta fix yourself. Fix yourself. Try to get a better understanding of who you are.
Mhm.
Try to
Self
elevate yourself in ways that you couldn't. Yep, self love.
mhm. Self
And
confidence.
self confidence, and teach
Mhm.
yourself as much as you can about life, about just the humankind, about how to keep that thing that you want. You know what I mean? It's like you want something, okay, get to learn about it. You know what I mean? Like you got people who love animals. You know what I mean? And they'll go out there and watch, the monkeys in the jungle the whole day, and they'll actually build a knowledge on that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But they can't stay in the living room and say, I'm learning about monkeys. It's impossible. You know what I mean? There are
Mhm.
people who dedicated their lives to studying the things that they love in order for you to get that knowledge. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So you do the same for yourself. You
Mhm.
say you like man, you like this, you like to do this and that. All right, cool. Learn about it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Put yourself
If
out
you
there.
want to get married, learn
Don't
about
be afraid.
marriage.
Right. Learn about marriage. You say,
Learn about
what do you
marriage.
have to do to be in a marriage? Be around people who have success in
Be
the
around
marriage.
process and yeah,
And
exactly.
right. And learn more about compatibilities and things like that. Learn more about perhaps a little bit about astrology. Learn more about zodiac, well, not zodiac, but about astrology and compatibility and things like that. Because
Mhm.
you could come across the wrong person and be with that person for decades and waste your life. You know what I mean? Or you can let
Mhm.
somebody damage you in ways that is irreparable. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Where it's like you're too far gone. And so avoid problems as much as you can. And how you do that is by having more knowledge and being
Mhm.
accountable and saying, you know what, I let this happen to me. I won't let it happen to me. This is what I'm wanting to do. This is how I'm
Wow.
wanting to fix it.
Mhm.
And also, you got to be real with yourself about who you are
Jeez.
and what
Mhm.
you can get.
Mhm.
And then how you can make yourself better to get to that next level and that to get that next individual. And back to the subject, the main subject, why women,
Why men? Why men don't want commitment?
why men don't want commitment.
Mhm.
And to close up in that part is to tell is I also want to mention that
Mhm.
the difference of individual is what gonna keep the relationship or break the relationship. So
Mhm.
in that part, everybody has to be real with
Mhm.
themselves and do their part. And don't
Mhm.
try to fix nobody. Don't try
Can't
to
fix
change
nobody.
nobody.
You can't change
Right,
nobody. Please. You can't.
right.
If he wants
You
to
could only
change,
bring the grass.
he's
You only bring the
changed.
sheep to the grass, but you can't
Mhm.
make the sheep eat the grass.
Mhm.
So at the point where somebody's uncoachable, where somebody cannot make compromises, somebody cannot try to fix themselves or
Mhm.
cannot try to fix any problems and things like that, or don't see it, or don't even have the intuition to know, or the self-awareness or the consciousness to
Mhm.
believe that they are in the wrong, or whatever it is, then you have to say to yourself, it's time to go. Accept defeat and
I
take
want to add
losses.
that too. I want to add this, ladies. He has to be able to lead you. He has to be able to lead. Like me, when I'm talking to a female, right? When we talk to a female, we chop up game. I let her know like what it is, how it's gonna be financially. If I'm taking her out on a date, or I gotta be able to take care of her. You know what I mean? Lead. You know,
Mm-hmm.
respect. Right? She has to be able to. You have to be able to. He has to be able to understand you. You know, and for you, you have to be able to respect him too. Like we
Yeah.
saying, it's both
Yeah.
parts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, so.
And it's still about knowing yourself, because the thing is that in the
Mhm,
area where I could be a leader is the area where you could be where you're gonna be a follower. In the area
mhm,
where you're gonna lead is the area where I have no knowledge of, and then you're the
mhm.
leader at that point. You see what I'm saying?
That's it.
So that's why you have to know your strength and your weaknesses, because there's a lot of things I want to know that perhaps you won't know. That
Mhm,
okay, you take the wheel. You know what I mean? Like,
mhm,
but innately, men gonna lead, and that's point blank. That's just how it is.
mhm,
And but the thing is that you yourself, if you know yourself, then you will know what kind of man you will allow for to lead you in your life,
mhm,
so that it don't become a disaster. If you take any monkey out there and let run your ship,
mhm.
you're gonna crash. You know what I mean? So you gotta be real, and you gotta know. Okay, you know what? If I know me, I'm not willing to accept this. I know that I don't want this kind of woman in my life.
But
Point blank.
another thing too, a lot of women that I've come across and I know, they don't have male figures in their life to tell them that. They don't
Well, the
have it.
thing is that in general now these days everybody avoids the truth. That's just how it is. People want a convenient lie.
But
So whether
but
you're a male or a
but
female, a
but we
young
talking
man
about
gonna.
but the thing is, what should women do to get that type of advice? Because they're not getting it. A lot of them are not getting that. Even if they have fathers in their lives, and sometimes they're not comfortable enough to talk with that with their fathers, brothers. I know some women, like I know I have sister too, and we were close to the same age. Now, my sister, so now she's soaking it in now. You know what I mean? She's listening, and now she's listening. But before, when I used to come at her, she'd think that okay, you act like you're my father or whatever. Whoa, whoa. Now when she came to the age where she wants to settle down, right? And now she's considering what I talk about. She's considering when you came over for Thanksgiving, we sat down and talked to her, you know? And this is why I want to get, ladies, this is why I want you to get to understand. If you have a male figure in your life, right? A brother, cousin, even if you have a friend, someone that, I mean, it's kind of different now. I don't know, like, because some men are just, they just don't have that understanding, like we were saying before. But if you have,
Right.
a father, don't be afraid to go and talk to him about that. You know, don't be afraid, and go and talk to them about that. I mean, if this video blows up, bro, I may gonna have to do something where, like, consultant, you know what I mean, and, have people call me or something like that. But that's later on, you know what I mean. Whatever, it depends, though. But we want to get more. If you have a man in your life, man, listen to him. You know what I mean. Don't be afraid to take advice. You need this advice, from a male perspective, because in this life we living in, man, some guys, man, they down and dirty. They know where your weakness is, and they'll eat you alive. And you be wondering, well,
Found
damn,
balance. Found
find
balance.
balance.
Like in everything, in everything I always say. Like even me, like yeah, I have a high intuition. I
Mm-hmm.
trust my intuition, but there's no president with no advisors. That's just
Mm-hmm.
there's no general in the army without advisors, without colonels and sergeants and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who are on the field who've been on the field. Although you've been on the field yourself, but the field can change from the level where you're at. So you gotta ask people.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Who are relatable to the subject at hand, or who are relatable to the
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle that's conducive to you. You know what I mean? So you gotta find balance. You can't just ask your friend, or you can't just ask your girlfriend. You can't just ask like
Please, ladies,
you gotta
don't
take
ask your
everything.
female friends. Don't ask them. Don't ask them.
I'll say this. Ask them, but take that answer to compare versus what the man will say. Then you find your answer. Because the thing is that I do addition to do subtraction. You understand what I'm saying? So I add both answers in order to get my answers. So if I see that one answer is going too left or too right, then I gotta come. I know I want to be in the middle. What's fair?
But you have to understand too that women they listen to their friends because their friends know them, they hang out. You know, this is someone they can trust.
Right.
But you have to understand.
And that's how you find the wrong. Because the thing is that if you don't even hear them out completely, then you're not gonna find out if they're wrong or not. Because the thing is that if you dismiss what they're saying, then you are doing the same thing that they're doing. So what you do, you hear them. I'm not saying you listen. You hear them out. Okay, you know what? This is how, this is how Helena would do it, or whatever her name is, right? Cool. Now let me go talk to Gene. Okay, this is how Gene would do it. Now you got two different perspectives. Now you're kicking back like, well, Helena told me to do this and do that. But nah, that's not gonna make me. That's gonna make me do this. I don't want that. Versus what Gene told you. Now you got a different perspective because you were only listening to her, right? Now you're doing whatever that's destructive on that side. Whatever Gene told you, perhaps is constructive. Now you hear that you got two perspectives. So
But I'm gonna tell you this. But I'm telling you this. When she comes to talk to me, I'm a male. Yeah. I know what many other guys could do, right? I know what the other guy could do. I could be like, nah, he trying to do this and do that to you, woo. And Helena, she don't know what's really going on. I mean, she may have had that experience before, or know someone that had that experience before, right? And then after that, all of a sudden, she's gonna be like, she don't even know anything about anything, you know what I mean? Or she could know that, okay, this guy is a good guy, but maybe it was a miscommunication. Like, versus like me, she would come to me and say that, oh, why is he doing this to me? Like, we were like, yo, maybe he's having a bad day. Maybe he's this. Okay, you know what? This is what's going on. He's this and that. He's acting like that. Whoa, because we know, because like we say, us as men, we up on, especially like us, we have wisdom. We know. So, like, for example, I got young sisters. And we was talking about my sister. It was not until she came and talk to me about it, and she found out what her friends was doing. Now she got her answer, and she like, well, you was right. I mean, I don't know. My sister, she's never gonna admit that. I was right though, but when she talked to you, she seen that. She admitted that she was right. I mean, I was right. So it's really important for women.
We know what the truth is.
We know the truth.
We know what the truth is. The thing is that we know what the truth is, but we sometimes, like I said, we need perspectives in order to confirm the truth. Because sometimes you could take the truth as too wrong, or maybe your action behind that will be too impulsive. So you gotta kick back and get perspective so you hear it out. But deep down inside, trust me, women know what the truth is.
Women are smart. They know. It's just
know what the truth is, but it's better. The thrill is better, and going with the flow is better, and also what's popular is better. You know what I mean? Like there's not a lot of logic in terms of the decision process. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. So whatever makes you feel this way or whatever it is, that's what you're gonna go with or whatever, But always get perspectives. Don't sell yourself short. Just get perspectives, hear it out. An opinion, even a frank opinion, even from a kid, might be even better than one of an adult. So you gotta know how to put two and two together and get one. Because what you're trying to find is balance. And then in balance, you're gonna see what's unbalanced and what is balanced. You see what I'm saying? And then you're able to depict from that and say, okay, you know what, this is the best decision for me, point blank. And that's where it stays at.
Right.
That's how you develop your wisdom as well, because you develop your wisdom from getting perspectives and from seeing, okay, you know what, this is better than that, this is better than this is better than that.
Right.
And then you're able to also find out what you like and what you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Because if you go with a perspective of just one person to develop your own, then that means that, okay, you know what? I'm becoming like that person. No, you have to get your own perspective and say, okay, you know what? Like my last relationship, we let that go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now she's gonna be in a world where she's gonna have to choose other men, right?
Mm-hmm.
And say, okay, you know what? And find out, you know, we wish her the best, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but she's gonna find out, okay, you know what? This man is different than that man, and that man, and this man, and that man, right? And then all of these people will be compared to me. Because
Mm-hmm.
I set the standard and I set the bar high,
Right.
very high.
Mm-hmm.
And so, from those perspectives, and it's important that she has those perspectives, because when you don't have perspective, then you just take shit for granted. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Sure.
now she'll have perspectives in life, whether she becomes,
Mm-hmm.
30, 40 eventually in her life, she'll find out that, damn, I fucked up. You understand what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Or maybe Lewis maybe I found better. That's even better for me. Who
Mm-hmm.
knows? But the thing is, it's important to find perspective
Perspective.
in order for you to learn your lessons
Mm-hmm.
and to also bring balance into your life and to know yourself. Because now you will
Right.
know that, okay, you know what? I like this better than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. But we're gonna wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. Lou, bro, you wanna social media, man? I mean, I'm sure somebody's gonna be out there and be like, damn, you know, I wasn't expecting this. So, where's your social media? If you got Facebook, Instagram, put your Instagram up. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna put that in the comment section, not comment section, but in the description and everything.
Yeah.
But let the what's your Instagram information and Facebook, your social media? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my Instagram information is Louis Diamond. Louis LOOWEE space Diamond. And so that's for my IG. And then my Facebook is Intuitive Tigress. Intuitive, like intuition, intuitive, and then
Mm-hmm.
Tigress, TIGRIS.
All right.
Write me a message. You can hit me up in my DM and
Mm-hmm.
just, if you got any questions, whatever
Uh,
knowledge or whatever wisdom I'm able to share with you.
mm-hmm.
Hey, to better your life. I'm into the betterment of the individual.
Mm-hmm. Bro, I gotta ask you before you go. I didn't mean to cut you off. I don't know. I got my homegirls and they just text me. They love the video, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Okay.
was saying, like, are you willing to do more videos, man? What's up?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Hey, you just let me know, and then we'll touch up on more subjects, and we'll have debates and everything. And so,
Just to know, I didn't really they were here to actually see because we were recording this, but I have put her on speaker. She's listening. I just put her on mute, and she's listening. She just texted me. She said, "Oh my god, I love it." She said, "I love it." You know what I'm saying? So I can't wait until we post this video out. And bro, hopefully, you can get your own YouTube channel if everything goes good, man. You got your own stuff in there. This is just now. We just excited. We putting this out. But one of the things my another homegirl is mine. She talking about sex. She wants to talk about how men should make love to women, man. But this
and
is
that's a subject for another day, man, because that's a deep rabbit hole that we're
oh
gonna
my
dive into, man. And there's just so much to unpack from that, and and yeah.
god. Because
We have a lot of subjects to talk about
we
for
have a
sure.
lot of stuff to talk about, and I talk to a lot of my female friends, and even my fellas, man. I'm telling them how to deal with, how to make love to them, and everything, and how to get them mentally, stimulate the mind, and I'm talking about how to mentally get them, mentally massage them, all that, But that's another subject, But
Yeah,
yeah, bro. So this is a wrap. This is the end of the video. Wow, we almost talked for 2 hours, bro. God.
yeah, just about, yeah.
It's 2 hours, man, and we're just recording this though. But bro, thank you so much for the video. I had to put you in this because I couldn't be able to do this by myself because we talk about this all the time, bro. But like we got a little bit out of the subject, but it's good because women is well rounded. Where women could get a better idea of the type of guy they can choose, to be with, and also to why men just don't want to commit. You know, this is just another thing. But please, like, ladies, even fellas too, comment below. Comment below.
Yep.
Put your own input in.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Like, share.
We'll love to hear your opinion on things, and and perhaps debates that or subjects that you want to talk about as well.
And remember, I am your new best friend. All right, right? I am your new best friend. All right, no judgments over here. None but positive energy, and the truth should set you free if you want to. All right. So, bro, nice talking to you. Yo, hit me. I mean, damn, I'm about to ask you what we're about to get.
On the other side, yeah, we chop it up on the other side, man. Chop it up.
Yeah, we got to chop it up. Chop it up. She know who she's listening. She know who we talking about. That's my gym wife, man. So, bro, hit me, man, and please like, share, subscribe, and all right.
Goodbye to everybody. Y'all stay safe out there, man.
Happy holidays. Peace.
Peace.
All right.